Welcome down here to this basement tavern, and as you can see, it's in a pretty raw state right now, and that's why we're here. We're here to finish it out. I don't even know over there. I don't even want to count right now. And everything's gonna just look like it's all intersecting in timber frame. This is gonna be pretty cool. It's getting dark earlier. We're in solitary confinement down there. All right, that was not as dramatic as I thought it would be. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're back here down in the tavern. Before I show you what we've been up to, I want to let you know I finally did it. Check it out. And I see all the comments, people calling me an idiot and stuff because I don't protect my eyes. And you know what? I agree. I should be protecting my eyes, and I picked up these Milwaukee little clear glasses here, these safety glasses. And better yet, actually, while I was there in the safety section, I went ahead and picked this up too. So I will be wearing this from now on as well. So now I will be highly visible by all the other workers here. John won't shoot me with the nail gun. Everything will be good to go. And while I was there in that Milwaukee section, they actually had this light there too. And I thought, hey, high vis reflective vest, who's gonna see? I gotta have some lights dark down here. So I went ahead and picked this up. So basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna walk around with this so everyone can see me. And the cool thing about this thing actually is really cool. Slide it up, it tilts. So anywhere I'm working, I will be highly visible and protected. But seriously, I have been on some jobs where there's guys who have been there with eye patches, and that's crazy. And it really hit me when we were installing some of this tongue and groove. There's so much dust down here because they're sanding this stuff, and we're cutting. We don't have dust collection. We need to get dust collection. We got all kinds of saws down here going on. Such a confined space with no ventilation. As we're looking up, installing these tongue and groove boards, it's all just raining dust in my eyes. So we started here yesterday getting some of those boards installed. I'm gonna share that with you, but that's when it hit me, like, I really need to protect my eyes and lungs and everything. So I'm being kind of funny, but also serious. I don't want to be losing an eye. So I'm hoping, I bought a 3-pack of these, so no excuses. I'm gonna try to start wearing these as much as possible. So there you go. We have been down here, we've been making some progress. Our first day back was yesterday, so let's go back in time real quick and check out what we did then. And we're back from our vacation, and those guys have made some progress up in these panels here on this ceiling, these coffered sections. So they've got these 4 done. They started on the 5th one, and it is crispy. They've got everything scribed to the beams. They've got all these notches for vents and lights, just perfect. Everything looks so good. And what I really love about this was when I came down here right now is that you get to see a before and after. You get to see all this ugly stuff, the foam, the joists, the plumbing, the HVAC, all the mechanicals of the house, and then it just gets covered up with this beautiful white oak. So yeah, this is looking good. This is motivating because now we're seeing this room really take shape. You're getting rid of all this plywood look, like I said, all the ugly stuff, and you're seeing beautiful woodwork go into it. So I can't even imagine when those guys refinish this stuff and we're installing panels. We've got this mantle now in place. We moved this actually a little bit earlier today. We got all that stuff out of that section down there because John and I are actually going to start running our stuff down there on the ceiling, and we moved it back over here because once we get all these outer walls done with these planks, then paneling can actually start going in. So we're making some progress down here. Things are starting to look really finished out, and yeah, we're gonna start knocking out some of these ceilings ourselves. Okay, perfect. Perfect there. Yeah. Got it. Cool. First panel complete. Yeah. At this rate, we'll be done next year. So much easier to see with that tape, and there's where my notch needs to begin. So what I'll do here is I'm going to do a plunge cut on the table saw. And then a bit of a climb cut too, which is going against the way that the blade is supposed to cut. A little bit dangerous, but as long as you hold on to it tight, nothing's gonna happen. Just gotta kind of know what you're doing and know the tool that you're working with. But this is an easy, pretty standard thing that you see done with notches. So I'll turn the saw on and then I'll plunge my piece into it. And then before I take that all the way off at the miter saw, I'm gonna bevel to 15, and then I'm gonna set this up to where it doesn't take anything off of this. It just gives me that back cut to it. It makes it so much easier for making any small scribes. So you can see that little 15-degree bevel. If I need to take anything out of this, I can then run another piece of green tape here, see what gap I'm working with, and then I can take anything like a piece of sandpaper, a hand plane, and just clean that up and it should fit perfect. But scribing against the beams hasn't really been an issue for us on that first one. They're pretty straight for the most part, but just in case, we want to make sure we've got that there. So I'll finish this cut up here at the miter saw. Again, not recommended use if you're not comfortable with the tool. So I'm using that shadow line and lining it up with that pencil line. And then I just make the cut. And to avoid this piece coming loose and just cramming the blade and throwing, I just leave a little bit on and then I just break it off by hand. So I can take a chisel, clean that up, or just my razor blade. And then we get to dry fit our piece, see if it works. So our notch should be within 1/8 of an inch of the opening, which I'm good there. Checking for flushness over here. I know it's hard to see with that camera because it's super dark, but I'm totally flush over here. I do not need any scribing to happen up against the beam. And even though I don't need the scribing there, that 15-degree bevel still helps. It allows the finished side, basically the face of this plank, to be the part that's closest to the beam. So even if there is something off on the beam, where these are natural beams, they're pretty square actually, but it just allows it to be super tight. So anytime you have a scribe, it's always good to have some kind of bevel there. So when it comes to installing this one, I'm gonna start with a face nail at the back side here, closest to the beam. So I'll get that installed. And you can see when I push that, the whole plank goes up to where it needs to be. So I'll shoot that. I'll get one over here as well. We need that all the way up right there. Then I can blind nail right here. That really grabs it, and I'll throw 2 in there. This white oak can handle 2. And then I'll throw 2 right here. Make sure my gun is angled. Boom, that ain't coming down. And then when I break it right here on my joist, I can also do a face nail here. And then a blind nail here as well. So now when that groove comes and locks into this, it's all supported on that joist right there. So it's not gonna, move over time or come apart. If you tried to separate one of these tongue and groove boards, like say in the middle of one of these joists, just out here in the air, it will lock together, but it's just not a good connection there. It's gonna be wobbly and stuff. So this is the best way to do it, the only way really to do it for a solid joint. So pretty basic, guys, using that green tape, marking off, making sure our notches are clean, making sure we got our back bevel, straight cuts here, just really taking the time to make sure this stuff fits and looks perfectly, because did I mention this is pre-finished? I think I did. Everything needs to look good. So we're gonna repeat this same exact notching process for the other side of this, for this light right here, for any other obstacles like this that come up. They're just gonna be notched to within 1/8 of an inch tolerance, and these will all have flanges that cover them. So 1/8 is plenty. So the notches are really what takes the time. They kind of slow the whole thing down. When you've got sections like this where it's just straight runs, I mean, those, you fly through those pretty quick. So back to the future, we're here today and we're doing the same exact thing. We're installing these flooring boards on the ceiling up between these beams, and we're gonna be doing this for a while. However, we recently, just today, got pulled off this job because our cuts aren't as good as they should be. So it was fun while it lasted. No, I'm just kidding. We did get pulled off the job, but not for quality issues. There is a Palladian window 2 houses down that is basically all rotted out. It's really badly damaged. It needs some new flashing. It needs all new moldings replaced. So we got to go. It's a 2nd floor window. We got to go set up a scaffold over there in the morning. So since we're getting pulled off this job today, we're going to finish up, I think, one more panel right here, coffer, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to head out. We got to load all of our stuff up because we're going to need these tools. And then we got to go to my house, load up the scaffold, organize the trucks, because we're basically being redeployed somewhere else. So everything that we have down here has to come out. But yeah, let's finish what we started here, knocking this panel out. $15.5.
Oh, so this.
Oh, you do have one? Really? That's a prophecy fulfilled right there. Yeah, look at that. When we put this piece in, this last piece, it's really not that important because this piece right here is going to come up and hide that. That's why we haven't put this piece in yet. We would rather scribe this side piece up to our ceiling rather than try to scribe our ceiling into this. It's just a lot easier that way. We have done it like this panel right here. You can see that's beam to beam. So that last piece right there was a pretty big scribe job where we had to make everything fit tight. It's a good fit right there. Let me get my block. And of course this one we have to face now. Except this part over here, because again, same scenario. The beam wrap is going to go up and cover it. That one right there is going to be scribed all 4 sides. So that one is probably going to take the most time, which is why we have not even really looked at that one yet. We're going to do that one last. Up yet.
Is there anything there?
There should be a joist. Can you see that?
Okay.
Scaffold is ready to go. We're all set for getting up on that 2nd story exterior Palladian window tomorrow, which is going to be sweet.